Hi, this is my presentation of the article I reviewed for SPED 520. The instructional strategy that I chose was the Picture Exchange Communication System, or PECS. PECS is a low-tech communication system that was developed in 1985 by Andy Bondy and Lori Frost. Initially, PECS was designed to be used with children with autism. Since 1985, however, PECS is used with a variety of adults and children with disabilities across the board. PECS is a very cost-effective and relatively simple way to help people to communicate and make requests. There are 6 phases in PECS, and in those 6 phases, they increase in complexity. This study focused on the first 2 phases of PECS, learning how to communicate and the physical exchange. In the initial phases of PECS, there are 2 trainers or adults that provide assistance in training the child. One of the adults is behind the child to provide physical assistance, and the other adult is the communication partner or the person who is receiving the request. All a child or an adult needs to be able to do to use PECS is to be able to reach. Once a child reaches for a preferred item, the physical prompter then takes their hand or arm and puts it towards the person who they are making the request to, and the child releases the symbol into that person's hand. That adult then turns the picture around facing the child, labels the photo, and immediately gives the child the item or object that they requested. PECS training is most typically completed in a very structured one-to-one kind of training session. It does increase in complexity as you get through the phases. In the phases 4, 5, and 6, there's an opportunity for children to learn, or adults to learn, how to request using a person's photo, a sentence. That sentence can have a variety of descriptive words, colors, shapes, numbers, sizes. And in the final phase of PECS, phase 6, the training is focused on learning how to comment on your environment. The article I reviewed was on how effective observational learning of the implementation of PECS was in gaining initiation skills, communicative initiation skills, and maintenance of those skills. The participants in the research and the study were 6 males, ages 3 to 6, who had received a diagnosis of autism in their preschool years, and who were also receiving early childhood special education services. The participants were divided into pairs. In each pair, one of the children received direct instruction on PECS, and the other child simply observed that direct instruction. There are 2 teachers, one that prompted the child and one that was the communication partner. The other child then simply observed the direct teaching with cues from the teachers to watch your friend, look, listen, things like that. The first 2 phases of PECS was focused on for this study. And in the study, the results showed that in each of the pairs, the child was able to independently learn how to use the first 2 phases of PECS by observing the skills or the training that their partner received with 100% accuracy. The findings also revealed that initiation and maintenance that the child developed independently was permanent, and the child could the child could demonstrate those skills at a later time. Previous studies on the efficacy or use of PECS in training children to, or children, most of the studies have been with children, but children and adults to initiate requests using photos have been primarily focused on one-to-one training with one child. And this study focused specifically on pairing children and focusing on the child that was observing the PECS training and whether or not they would be able to develop those skills through observation. I found this research to be particularly interesting and useful for myself. I've typically I've used PECS for many years with a great deal of success with students with autism, Down syndrome, and a variety of other disabilities and difficulties. My belief prior to reading this article was that PECS training needed to be done in a direct, one-to-one structured environment. This article was able to demonstrate and show that, in fact, children with autism can learn through observation, and observation is a critical skill in developing social competence. Thank you.